Hello, in this video we're going to look at the key ideas of economics that are spelled out in Chapter 1 of Modern Principles of Economics by Cowen and Tabarrok. So many authors of Principles of Economics textbooks highlight the key ideas or main principles of economics in their first chapter, and we're going to look at it for this book. So first key principle, incentives matter. These are just the rewards and penalties that affect behavior. Second key principle, good institutions align self-interest with social interest. Markets are full of people acting in their own interest. The grocery store stocked with products from around the world, the entrepreneur who built a restaurant, the truck driver delivering supplies, and the farmer who tends to his field all pursue their own interest and end up benefiting the social interest at the same time. Markets don't always align self-interest with social interest in the case of pollution, externalities, overfishing, for example. Key principle number 3, trade-offs are everywhere. Ensuring that new drugs are safe means it takes longer for new drugs to enter the market, delaying the time that people can benefit from their use. This is referred to as drug lag. Also, ensuring new drugs are safe makes it more costly to bring new drugs to the market. This will reduce the supply of new drugs and is referred to as drug loss. So more safety comes at a trade-off, more drug lag and drug loss. Opportunity cost is also mentioned under this principle, and that is just the value of the opportunities lost when making a choice. So again, trade-offs involve opportunity costs. Principle 4, thinking at the margin. Making choices by comparing the marginal benefits with marginal costs. For example, a consumer deciding whether to buy a few more apples, a producer deciding whether to produce a few more barrels of oil per day. Principle number 5, the power of trade. Exchange makes people better off regardless of where people live. Everyone can benefit from trade. Trade increases specialization and production. They note that self-sufficiency is death. The theory of comparative advantage is highlighted here. People benefit when they specialize in things at which they can produce at a low opportunity cost and trade with people who produce other things at a low opportunity cost. Number 6, the importance of wealth and economic growth. The wealth created from economic growth means malaria eradication. Malaria was eradicated in the U.S. in the 1940s. It means flushing toilets, antibiotics, high rates of infant survival, higher education, vacations, resilience to natural disasters. Principle 7, institutions matter. Proximate causes of wealth include lots of capital and human capital per worker and technological knowledge. So the question is, why don't all countries have lots of capital and human capital per worker and use the latest and greatest of technological knowledge? Well, some countries have weak institutions. Property rights are not protected, dishonest and corrupt government, political instability, a corrupt legal system. Markets are not open and competitive. So these weak institutions means that there's not much incentive to invest in capital, human capital, adopt technological knowledge. There's not going to be much reward for doing that. The risks are going to be too great given these weak institutions. Number 8, economic booms and busts cannot be avoided. Booms and busts of economic activity are normal because economic conditions change. In more primitive economies, changing weather conditions that affect crops could have a big effect on the economy. Principle number 9, prices rise when the government prints too much money. The Zimbabwe government printed so much money that prices were rising 150,000% by the end of 2007. Hyperinflation. And finally, principle 10, central banking is a hard job. The Federal Reserve makes decisions that may take many months before it affects the economy, so there are these policy lags. how this policy will play out in an uncertain future is difficult with constant changing economic conditions. Okay, that's it.